Okay. Hi. Today is podcast recording day with Mel. She will be here in like 10 minutes. I do all of the setup by myself, so this is a huge learning curve. I feel like that's the theme of my year, but I figured I would share with you like some of the things that I've learned about like equipment and figuring things out with recording podcasts. So this is called the Pod Track 4. Basically, you would record all of your audio onto this thing, and then you'd use the memory card that you put in here and add it to your computer or whatever you're using to edit the audio. So it's all recorded here. So I'll show you how I set that up. When I first got it, I would have it record on a battery. There is a battery section in the back. I believe it takes like AA batteries, but we learned the hard way during one of our recordings that the battery can drain pretty fast when you're recording. So I bought this like long, what is this, like a UBC cord? I don't know. It's like those Apple cords that you can use to plug it into your wall. So you'll always have a consistent power source. And that's very critical when you're recording a podcast. So you don't want to run out of battery, both for your camera or your like audio recorder while you're recording. Obviously, another important piece of equipment that you'll need for recording a podcast is mics. Now, for this podcast, we wanted a more casual style where we're just like sitting on a couch and chit-chatting. So we want to be able to hold our mics. So I got these mics. They're literally like singing mics, I think, but I have these little like foamy covers that I add to them, and it really does make a huge difference when you're recording with like the podcast. One thing I realized that's really annoying about myself is I do like a lot of clicking and clacking with my mouth when I talk. So this helps mute some of that. Did it again. So yeah, this is the mic, and then we use these cords, plug it into the back. I don't know. And this side goes into the pod track. So the nice thing about this pod track is that it's super simple to use, and you can have up to 4 mics. So usually when we do our episodes for this podcast, we record with a guest. So that's 3 people recording at the same time. So I wanted one that could like, have more than 2 people. I really like that. Okay, that's mic 2. Pretty simple. I also got these cases for the mics because I wanted something that would protect it while I don't use it, but also something I could travel with. So we did record a few episodes in Vancouver in May. So I was able to bring all this with me on the plane. So that's kind of nice. It's not like a ton of equipment, but this is the basics. Like this is all you really need if you're just recording audio. Actually, that's a lie. The other really important thing you need is an SD card. I have a 128 gigabyte SD card. This should be more than enough for recording audio only. So you do need to add that to your pod track so that it actually captures the audio. I always need to use a butter knife to open the little slot for the memory card because my nails just don't allow me to add it. So next I will turn it on, and then I'll run a few tests just to make sure that it's picking up the audio. Before we started the podcast, I did a bunch of research on like, okay, what's the like lowest barrier to entry when it comes to podcast audio recording. Obviously, you can record audio from your phone or another kind of microphone, but I just wanted like the half a step up from that version. So far our audio has been really, really good, and we haven't had any huge issues. This has been a really great piece of equipment. I'm really glad we have these mics. And so yeah, I highly recommend you can check it out. I'll link another video that I found that really walked me through like setting this up and optimal settings and all that if you're curious and want to explore the pod track a bit more. But yeah, it's really great. I highly recommend it just for audio.
Check 1, 2, check. We're here, ready to record.
We we just finished recording. It was a really good episode. Mel is just so funny. She cracks me up. What I do now is I want to upload all my footage to Dropbox right away. So it's just like in there and I don't have to think about it. So I take my little USB reader here. This is the card that I have the audio on. So I'll just upload it to my computer and throw it into Dropbox. I do not edit our audio or our video. I was at the beginning and it was taking me just like so long. And I also wasn't good at it. So I reached out to our friend, Zandali. She's actually a guest. She was our first guest on the podcast. So she's a big reader too. But I know she's just like good at that stuff. Actually, what actually happened is I was behind on editing it. I edited the first one. I did okay. She gave me some tips. I was editing the next one and I was like allocating like 2 or 3 days to edit it. And then I got sick. And then I actually had to take our son Timo to the hospital that evening because he like had trouble breathing and he had to get like a steroid shot and all this stuff. So it was literally at the hospital at like midnight that I texted her just like desperate. I was like, I set this goal for myself. I wanted to start this new podcast. I wanted to be consistent, have one episode a month. And so I just asked her if she'd be willing and have the time to to edit the audio for this episode. She said, of course, happy to do it. She did such a good job with it because she does the audio editing, which is hard to do, especially with like multiple people speaking at one time. And then she also cut up some clips for us that we use on Instagram and TikTok. So from then on, I was just like, can you do it moving forward? So I do engage her to edit our podcast, which has been a huge load off of me. I decided that with some of these things and projects that I'm trying to do, like this vlog and my podcast, I'm just not the best person to do everything. So I just wanted to hand it over to someone who's better at it and who can do it more efficiently than I can. So I'm very grateful for her because she's amazing and she does a really good job. So the plan is now I will upload it all into Dropbox. I'll set up a folder for Mel to upload her video footage, and then we'll send that all to Zandali, and then Zandali will have the next like few weeks to work on it, and then we'll review it near the end of the month, and then our goal is to get it live by the last Wednesday or Thursday of every month. So hopefully by the time that you're watching this vlog, it'll be live, and I'll drop the link to the episode in the description for you. Okay, I just got my hair done and it looks so good. I did partial highlights. I didn't do my whole head, but I wanted to bring up my highlights so they're a bit higher and then add some layers because we are doing a photo shoot this week for our new podcast. It's so funny how much girls need to prep for things like shoots and vacations, and boys just need like a haircut. Like what Mike is doing, because Mike's in the shoot with me because we are co-hosts of this podcast. What he's doing is so different than what I'm doing. I'm like, hair, I got a makeup artist, I got a hair stylist for set, and then I'm doing like waxing, lamination, I did Botox, I did my hair. Like it's just so much more work, which I don't mind. Like I love doing this stuff. If I could just like get glam done every day, I'd be so happy. But yeah, anyways, I'm so excited.
I need you back. I need you back.
I just got home from the shoot and it was so fun. I feel like I'm riding a high. My makeup and glam looked so good. And oh my goodness, it was just so fun. At the beginning I was like really nervous, but because we were at a studio and we had like photographer, like our team, our creative director, an art director, and then hair and makeup, like a hair person and makeup person, and then we had 2 assistants. So it was just like a lot going on and a lot of people like watching the shots come in, and like there was like some pressure, which I love pressure. I think pressure is a privilege. So I feel like it brought a good like urgency to like just nailing the shot and not thinking about like being nervous or whatever, and just like doing my best to get good stuff. But it was so fun, and like Mike did so good, and it was like really, really fun. And the photographer is just like so good at like directing us. Like he would like do the poses for us, and he's like really honest with you. So he's like, open your eyes, like alive eyes, wide eyes. Like he's just like so good at it. So anyways, I'm like really happy with how it went. I feel like I've been thinking about this shoot for like weeks, because it's a shoot I want to nail. It's like for our new podcast, so I just want it to be really good, and I think it is. Also, to give you some context like of what we're doing, so we're launching a new podcast. Mike and I have had a podcast for a few years. It's called Waves, and it's a marketing podcast, and it actually served us really well for getting new clients. Like it connected us to some really great people. It was an interview style podcast, so we'd interview people based on like different subject matters that we wanted to talk about, and it was really fun, and it did really well. We ran it for like 2 or 3 years. We had over 50,000 downloads. We were number 1 in the marketing category for a little bit, so it did really well. But the more like last year when we were like recording and scheduling guests, it just got harder and harder to schedule people, not only because people are busy, but also Mike and I were getting busier. And then it was harder and harder to find people who were like truly like really experts in their field. And I think a few things happened. One, when we launched the podcast, we were so green. Like we really didn't know much about the industry. We didn't have like a specialization. So we could learn from everyone. And also we didn't have a network. So it was such a great way for us to build our network. The other thing is Mike and I just have more opinions. Like we have more opinions about what we think is good, what we think the industry should do, which is a positive thing. It means that we've grown as professionals. So with that in mind, it was just like we would interview people that we didn't necessarily agree with. It just felt like the interview style of podcasting just wasn't suiting our needs at the time. So we decided to restart. We're kind of blowing up Waves, and we're launching a new podcast called Big Things, and it's going to be focused on just Mike and I as the consistent 2 voices. We will interview people once in a while when it makes sense and we feel like we get like a really special guest, but mostly it's going to be us. And the other big change is that we're going to record weekly, which is a big undertaking. With Waves, we would record whenever we could book people, and sometimes we'd batch record, but we didn't do weekly. So we just feel like we need to kind of like, if we're gonna give this podcast thing a proper go, we really need to go weekly. So we're gonna record episodes every Friday and then hopefully have them live every Wednesday. So we have yet to record the first episode, although we did do a test run of it just to like test the lights and like what we like and things like that. We're gonna do video and audio recording, so it's a little different from my other podcast, Easy Reads, where we only record audio. This one will be video and audio. It will go live on YouTube as well, so a double whammy there, and it's gonna be fun. Like I'm just excited. I love the work of podcasting. I love putting together episodes. I love filming. I love talking. I love figuring out clips. Like I'm just so ready to get into it. So there is a lot of, I guess, like more pressure, and like I think I have more anticipation for what this podcast could do, and I just know it's gonna take like a big push from Mike and I to make it as good as it can be. We have pretty good like banter and on like on-camera presence, I guess. We've figured out like our dynamics. So I just really want it to be successful, and I really want us to grow, and I really want it to be good for our business and good for our personal brands. So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna launch big things in September, so you won't see the launch and the final images in this video, but hopefully you'll catch that in the next one. Also, can we take a second for this glam? I love it. Like, she did such a good job. I'll tag the makeup artist in case you're looking for someone in Calgary, and maybe I'll just go into some better lighting. Woo! Like, look at that. And then my friend Elaine, who's a hairstylist, she did my hair. It looks so good. Like, look at these eyes. Like, I love wearing eyelashes. I just don't know how to do it to myself. These are individual eyelashes, but wow. She did such a good job. I still feel like I look like me, which is nice. It's not like too cakey, but yeah, I look amazing. I gotta take a few selfies.
Beverage?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, hello from Vancouver. We just had our first full work day at the WeWork in Mount Pleasant, which is where our team works out of, and it was a great day. It was super fun to see them in person. Now we are home and we're just doing a little reset before we go out for dinner. My parents live in Vancouver, and so my mom is going to be spending the day with Timo and Elena while we work this week. So she's calling it Grandma Camp. So they had a great day at Grandma Camp. They went to Science World. It was super cute. And it's really nice for us because it gives us space to be able to spend time with our team and work out of the Vancouver space, and also meet with potential clients and partners and things like that. So we had a meeting in the morning, and then we spent the rest of the day with the team at WeWork, which is awesome. And now we're just waiting for the kids to get dropped off so we can go for dinner. We're meeting up with my best friend Elle. She's gonna meet up with us and have dinner. So yeah, that is day one. Car. It's like 7:30. Mike is doing bedtime with the kids, and I am on my way to Party City. Timo turned 2 yesterday. Yesterday. But we were traveling, like we were on the flight back from Nanaimo to Calgary. So we literally spent his birthday in the airport and then at home, and like just doing baths and like bedtime. So I feel really bad that I haven't like prepared anything for his birthday. So my parents just got in from Vancouver. They're here to celebrate him. And then tomorrow night we're gonna do a little like family celebration. But I want Timo to wake up to like balloons and decorations and feel like it's a special day. So I'm on the hunt tonight to go grab some stuff from Party City. I am so a Party City mom. I don't care if it's like gaudy or cheesy. Like, I love it. My kids love it. Every time I hit Party City for like a celebration or like a holiday, Elena goes crazy. Like, she just loves it. So I'm just gonna like get a bunch of birthday stuff, and then tomorrow morning Elena's gonna help me decorate it, which is so fun that she's like old enough to participate in that stuff. So even though it's like a small thing, I really feel like these like rituals and traditions like create expectations, and it's like literally forming their childhood. So I'd much rather be chilling at home, putting my feet up, but I think it's important that I make the trek and do this. So I'm gonna listen to an audiobook, and then I might also get myself a Diet Coke on the way as a little treat.
Timo's birthday. We got the dino balloons. We got the presents over there. Spotted the cake, the soccer cake. Happy birthday, dear Timo. Happy birthday to you. Good job, Timo. Yay! He did it. Is that a soccer ball?
Oh, on top.
Wow.